saying that loud. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and whatever the fuck you are, welcome to a new day. It's Tuesday. Who's gay? Me. Probably a little bit, but who's not shit in this kind of climate? You gotta do what you gotta do to get through to you in Hollywood. Skibbity-doo-bam. Let me suck on that. What? Huh? What the fuck are we talking about? We on the podcast, you see. When does this have to make sense? When you're making sense for a little bit of a bit in a end. I could do this all day. Bring that shit down. Bring it down. Ladies and gentlemen, bring that shit down. Fuck a beat, I go acapella with you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, listen, welcome to the podcast. We're feeling good. We're feeling right. We're not having a mental breakdown at all. We're not feeling the effects of the burnout at the end of the year. Not at all, ladies and gentlemen. Not at all. You know what? I don't have an emotional support dog, I've realized. Okay, a lot of people get a dog to deal with, they can just give you a little ball of happiness. And for a lot of times, that my dog was that. Okay. Having a dog during the pandemic was great. A little ball of sunshine. But here's the thing about my dog. My dog doesn't appreciate shit. My dog naturally, listen, I don't blame her. She's from a trash can. When I got my dog at the pound, it said in the notes, found in trash can. Do I call her trash can dog when she's acting up? Yeah. Threaten to put her back in one? Yeah. Why wouldn't I? That's just good. That's just being a good owner. You always want to use fear and guilt and shame as a tool. Isn't that what parenting is? Bars. But I think my dog identifies as a cat, if I'm being honest, because this shit is moody. And not only that, she's got these puppy dog eyes that she just never grew out of, where she has been stuck in this emo phase her entire goddamn life. She wakes up every morning. She chooses violence against other dogs. Okay, she's never actually attacked a dog. When I've taken her to the dog park, she kind of turns into a pussy. Kind of embarrasses me. She'll run and hide behind a tree and be like, "Can we go home yet?" But she when we're walking, she's never just like, "Oh, hey, that's another dog. I've walked by one 5,000 times in my life, but let me pretend like I'm going to fight this one." She chooses violence 100% of the time against other dogs. And I'm like, why do you embarrass me every time on a walk? She thinks she's protecting us. Listen, she needs to evolve. She needs to get out of her own way. Because I'm like, 0 out of 5,000 times has it actually turned into a fight. You can settle down. Okay? You can settle down. But she's the kind of dog that if you're feeling sad and you go up to her, you try to cuddle with her, she's like, listen. You're being a lot right now. Will physically push you off with her paw. She'll put it on your face and go, "Ooh, I'm just going to go curl up on this side of the room." A lot of drama going on here. But you know what? It's not her fault. Listen, it's not her fault. Some dogs are just born in trash cans and they never adapt. That's actually a very sad thing, because when I got my dog, when the pound was actually giving her to me, like the girl was handing her over, she goes, "Oh, wow." She goes, "This dog's actually not old enough to be released." And I was like, she was just like, but fuck it. It was got that kind of thing. She was real little and she was young. Like, I forgot what the weeks were supposed to be that they're not allowed to give them out, but she was real young. We're talking like 3 or 4 weeks or some shit. Forgot what the rule was, but I think they were just like, nah, people, we can't. No, we have way too many dogs, so we're just going to let this one go. But what I learned later on is that puppies learn how to cuddle with their litter. and their mom. So that's when they learn what cuddling is. And dogs that don't have that, they never really learn how to cuddle. They don't understand what's happening. They don't have that bonding. So my dog has that. And it was heartbreaking when I realized that, oh, you just don't know what this is. This is why you fight me. And you're like, get off me, bro. You're making it weird. My dog says, bruh, she's a fuck boy. But they found her in a trash can all by herself. Okay. So I give her a break with not wanting to cuddle. So I do force it upon her. I get her. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be the big spoon. All right. And I hold her. She'll give me a couple minutes and she's like, I got to go, bruh. All right. Gotta go. But yeah, I don't have an emotional support dog. I have an emotional draining dog because she'll look at you. You know how dogs always look at you like you're the greatest thing in the world? My dog looks at me like a fucking 12-year-old emo kid that's slipping away to the bathroom to slit just one little attention-seeking cut into her arm. That's what my dog is doing. If she could grow her hair out, I know it would be like the comb over, which is kind of like the Karen haircut, like that one swoop. Isn't that weird? Emo kids and Karens, they just fucking rock that little, I love me some emo kids. You know what was cool about the emo kids in high school? Yeah, I better say that. I loved emo kids when I was young. Okay, and I love them in a very platonic way. They were always the chillest people. Least amount of judgment. That's one thing that's good about emo kids. They just were just like, you want to be a T-Rex? Fucking be a T-Rex. Not that I went through a tyrannosaur phase in high school, but I think if I would have, they would have been open to it. They wouldn't have judged me. They'd be like, cool, dude, just don't eat me, Kind of just maybe even help me out, like make me feel good about myself. Like when I walk by, they're like, his eyesight is based on movement and just like stay still. And I'm like, cool, thanks for doing that for me. That's my experience with emo kids. Never really good at gym. I did have a few emo kids in my gym class, I want to say junior, sophomore year. And I remember them refusing to do the mile and they would just walk. Emo kids, I've never actually seen an emo kid run. And you might be thinking, those are the weird kids that run with their arms behind them at school. False. Those aren't emo kids. Emo kids, I don't think they learned how to run. And maybe that's why they're always depressed, is because but they would just, in gym class, they would just always walk. You remember that? You had to do like 5 laps to get a mile, to get an A. And then the fucking emo kids would roll in with 2. They'd always have some excuse. It was always weird in gym class when people just had built-in excuses. They'd be like, I have a knee issue. And then the fucking gym teacher would be like, okay, all right, whatever. That was the worst, going to gym class. Like in school, and no one showered. So sometimes you'd just be sweaty as shit if you really got into it. I grew up in the desert. There was times where it was hot as fuck. And you'd be out there having to fucking exercise. No shower and a sauna after. You just got to hope the Holy Spirit kept you clean. What you did do was just mask and Axe body spray. Axe body spray, I feel like it's something that you can't see anymore if you're not a 16-year-old boy. I don't know the last time I saw Axe body spray in the store. I'm sure it's still out there. But I feel like that demographic is 100% 16-year-old boys and maybe 55-year-old men that still go to the club. But in high school, I would just mix all the scents. Everybody had one. That's what everybody used on my whole block. That's what we called the row of lockers. You have everybody in the lockers. It was the same. Everybody had it. They'd be like, "Oh, what do you got?" And you'd be like, "I got sexual chocolate or dark chocolate." Another person would be like, "I have fucking glacier ocean wave." And then another person would be like, "I have fucking sea turtle bliss." And it'd be like, "Well, we got to mix all these and have a sexual chocolate, sea turtle bliss, glacier waterfall mixture." And you just spray it all over yourselves, fucking giving yourself brain damage. And then all you smell like is chemicals. All you smell like is chemicals. I remember I did go through a cologne phase when I was young, probably like 12 years old. Listen, I was homeschooled. I didn't know how dumb this was. But we would shop at the 99-cent store a lot. We were eating food from 99-cent store. But I would love to go there. You go, listen. You go to the 99-cent store with $10, you're king for a day. Okay? You get in there with $10 and somebody greets you and they roll out a red carpet. And they're like, doo-doo-doo. High roller has entered the building. And it only works if you're a kid. It only works if you're a kid. Because you can buy everything and more than one. And I'm talking before they started doing this bullshit. The dirtiest trick the devil ever did was make some items more than $1 at 99-cent store. It's fucked up. It's false marketing, false advertising, and I've been part of a class action lawsuit since I was 14 years old. Because I remember one time going in there and, on the top where you can't really reach it, they had white tigers that you could put out in your lawn. Like they were like garden ornaments. And I remember it being like, I was like, holy shit. They had a bunch of different statues. Kind of like at Vallarta where they just got random owls and piñatas above. Just overlooking Vallarta. But I remember I said, oh my God, I'm leaving this place with 10 white tigers. I had pictured my room just having a white tiger in every corner on my dresser, one in my bed, one keeping look out the window. People are going to know not to fuck with that house. They look up and they see a fucking white tiger statue. They're going to go, okay, this person is willing to die to protect what they have. You walk in a room ready to steal something in a room that has 10 white tigers and you're like, made a grave mistake. Okay? But unfortunately, as I got close to these white tigers, I noticed that they were fucking $19.99. And I thought, this is the biggest crock of shit I've ever seen in my life. It blew my mind, and I honestly think my childhood ended that day when I realized that not everything was $1 at the 99-cent store. That day, I did buy a poster, and it was more than $1. It was a Al Pacino, a Scarface poster. I bought a Scarface poster. And I remember I paid like $5 or something like that. It was less than 10 because I'm pretty sure I got a snack and I also got some fucking Michael Jordan cologne. That was a swish. Did I play basketball? No, not really. But here's the funny thing. I got this Scarface poster. I'm like a 10-year-old kid. Fuck am I doing with a Scarface poster? I'd only seen like half of it, only for the naked parts. Anybody from my generation knows what the fuck I'm talking about. You fucking fast forward, rewind, VHS to get to them boobies. Okay? Get to them boobies. But I remember I kept this Scarface poster over my bed as a little kid. Could you have imagined if I had white tigers in there too? I would have been slinging the greatest cocaine that ever existed right now. I would have been a slumlord. Okay? But what's funny about that poster, years later when I was in college, eventually it got moved to the garage somehow. Parents were like, fuck is this shit? Got moved to the garage. The glass case on it broke. So it was a broken poster frame with the picture of Scarface that had a mark on it. I came home from college when I was like 19 years old and I'm like, I'm going to have a yard sale. I need some cash. I'm strapped, daddy. And I have this yard sale. I put out the poster. I sold it to this... the only way I can describe him was a cholo. Came up with the Raiders jersey, really high socks. And he was like, I shit you not. He goes, hey, fool, how much for the Scarface poster? And I go, $10. And he goes, fucking sold, eh? I was like, cool. I don't know who taught you how to talk etiquette at a yard sale, but you got yourself a deal. And I flipped that Scarface poster. Fucking 12 years later for a profit. We'll say 10 years later, 9 years. And it was my first dabble into fine arts. I'm like fucking Jay-Z flipping Mona Lisa paintings, okay? That thing appreciated in value. Imagine how much I could have got out of them if I hadn't have broken the glass frame over it. I could have walked away with 12, okay? There is no way, listen, I make the sales. I turn the profits. One time I found a chair across the street from my apartment in Ventura, nice patio chair, one of them woven chairs. Found it. Someone abandoned it. I took it. I walked it over my head back to my apartment. I got no shame. Had a cushion on it. Cleaned it all up. When we moved to Texas, I sold that shit for $100. Your boy needed gas money. Sold it to a little old lady in her little convertible. And she said, hey, when we get to the car, don't let me forget to pay you. And I said, that's something you're not going to have to worry about. And then she tried to say, give me 80. And I said, hey, this is a little light. It's a little light. All right, Grandma. So she reluctantly handed me the other 20. Don't try to hustle me off Craigslist. That shit might as well be called Evan's List. Okay? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen. The other phase. This was the whole fucking point. Cologne. At like 12 years old, I got into this weird phase of buying cologne from the 99-cent store. I had every 99-cent store knockoff of shitty cologne. I had the Michael Jordan cologne, which I just thought that was his real cologne. I was like, yo, this is Michael Jordan's. He exclusively sells it in 99-cent store. I just thought it was exclusively there because I only went to the 99-cent store for cologne. And I remember I got everything. They had all these Dracor Noir, all these knockoffs of all these different colognes, and they all kind of smelled the same. It was the same. It was like, it didn't smell good. It just smelled different. Just smelled like chemicals and depression. It smelled like chemicals and poverty is what I was rocking. People be like, hey, what's that you're wearing? Poverty. Oh, okay. Yeah, it kind of smells cheap. What did I know? I was 12 years old. I was just a kid rocking thrift store shoes, all right? I think I told this story, but freshman year in high school, I remember I went to this phase where I just wanted a bunch of different shoes because I saw kids had a bunch of different shoes at school. I went to the thrift store, bought myself some suede smoking shoes. They didn't even have laces. And I remember a kid in physical science class. It's funny now. He goes, hey, Evan, nice shoes. And I just go, thanks, man. And I never forgot his face being like laughing at me that I was wearing fucking suede shoes. You know, you got to block out the haters, baby. That's the way I look at it. But I remember my buddy, Jay Rodriguez, shout out, got me my first real cologne when I was like, I think it was my 14th birthday party. He got me Crush. That was the name of it. I wore that shit till I was like a senior in high school. Okay? Just a little spritz. I make a cookie stretch. Okay? Just, that's all you need. Just a spritz of it. But I remember walking through like Macy's or something, and that shit was like $60. And I was like, holy shit, this is liquid gold. Shout out, you know? Now it's just weird. Like, I feel like the cologne phase has kind of petered out, you know? Maybe I'm not in the game, but whenever I smell a guy wearing cologne, girls, it's fine. I love, you know, like, it smells good. It's like, it works. But it's like when a guy's wearing cologne now, I'm like, hey, you're trying too hard, buddy. Hey, pal, doing a little too much, you know? Like when a guy is a little too manicured, I'm always like, it's a little too much. You care a little too much about what's going on, you know? I could probably care a little more, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know? It's what's on the inside. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what's playing right now. We don't have a song playing right now. We're going to be doing another quicker episode today. I just want to talk about this. I thought it was nuts. It was in the news about this concert in Houston. I don't know if, I'm sure you guys saw it, but I think it was Travis Scott. They had a concert. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. had a concert, Astro World. 7 or 8 victims died at this concert. And I want to say it was Travis Scott's, and he's being sued right now. And Drake as well are being sued for Astro World Music Festival. 500,000 or 50,000 people were there. And 8 people not only got trampled and died, but there was like hundreds of people injured at this concert because it just got too rowdy and people rushed the stage and people couldn't get out. This is one of the reasons why I hate crowds. I hate being in situations where you feel like cattle, where it's just like, it's so unpredictable and you're so out of control of what could go wrong. You're at the whim of someone not pulling out a gun, someone not getting crazy, the whole thing just going nuts. And it's like, you think this shit doesn't happen, but it does. And what was also crazy about it was there was rumors, and I guess this was confirmed, that someone was going around with a syringe and they were injecting people. It happened to a security guard where he was breaking up a fight and someone came up behind him and he felt a prick in his neck and he passed out. And then when he came to, the EMTs that were working on him, he said, I felt something like go in me. And he did have a prick mark where someone actually injected him. So some fucking Gotham villain running around this concert just injecting people. How fucked up is that? I think it's crazy. Like, this is what's nuts about, the actual world. Is the things that you have to be aware of and the things that you have to be worried about. And this isn't me virtue signaling at all, but it sucks the things that women especially have to go through when it goes to going into public places and going even private places, like just the world that you have to be aware of. It's pretty shitty. From spiking drinks to people following you to just people being stalkers and creepy and just the eyeballs. It's nuts. Dude, if I was a woman, I would just go, I don't know what I would do. I would go out and live in the woods and just have a double barrel shotgun I walked around with. It's rough, It's rough out here for a lady pimp, But you hate to see anything like this when a bunch of people, just trying to enjoy a music festival, things go bad like that. It sucks when you see people try to sue the actual artist for this, like as if they had anything to do with it. They weren't like, trample people, yeah, go nuts. But it's like, it's also, they didn't know what was going on up there. Great topic, Evan. Great topic. Listen, had a good weekend. Had a good show. Shout out to P Jams and Shannon, Mr. Sims. Great show at Villain Fest. A lot of festivals going on right now. Had UFC 268. If you didn't see UFC 268, holy shit. Amazing card. Shout out to Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje. Phenomenal fight. That was the kind of fight where so much brain damage was passed around that you're just like, man, it's a catch-22 because you love to see a good fight and a back and forth war, but you also hate to see people get hit that hard in the head. It's a crazy way to make a living. And you just hope things that science keeps getting better, and instead of making crazy mandates and vaccines that aren't ideal, progress the science to be able to help fighters, to be able to help people with these degenerative issues, Damn, why does everything keep taking a sad turn? But listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end on this note. We're getting closer to the holidays. Things are going to be getting weird. Listen, I mentioned in the beginning, dealing with a little bit of burnout. I got stand-up. I have, I'm in the process of getting a house and also my video business. And it's just like I'm being stretched in a lot of different ways. And I've been feeling the burnout and getting to the point where I I just feel like I haven't really been having energy for anything. My diet started slipping, not having as good of workouts, not sleeping. Dude, I've been, I don't know the last time I slept through the night. You know, if anybody has any sleeping recommendations that are natural and, you know, a good way to sleep, let your boy know. I had a crazy dream last night, and I feel like it is interpreted like of what's going on. I had this nutty dream where, I don't know if it was Earth, it was kind of an apocalyptic setting, and there was the aliens from the movie Alien, you know, the ones with the big head, and they only came out at night. So me and a group of survivors, we find this tunnel. It's like kind of like, you know, a concrete tunnel that goes underneath, and as we're going in there, there's someone at the entrance like, don't go in there, there's no way out, blah blah blah. And we're like, we got to go through, there's got to be another exit. So we start going through, and the tunnel keeps getting smaller and smaller, and I'm holding up the end like I'm the last person, and we're going through, and it's getting smaller and smaller to the point that we're crawling, and I'm responsible for shining the flashlight back, because another weird thing in the dream, you know how dreams don't make sense, the aliens don't like any kind of light. So I would shine the flashlight if I saw aliens, and they would like, and then like kind of like jump away. Hey, great alien sound effect. So I'm like holding the light, and what sucks is the lights, one of the light, it starts going out, and you got to like shake it. So they get close, and I'm like making the light come back on. But then I'm crawling, and I'm getting to the point where I can't really move anymore. Like that's how tight this tunnel is getting. We're talking about maybe 12 inches, you know, of just wiggle room where you're just like, and there's rocks and you have to climb over them and everything. And people are crying and people are just trying to get through. And it's like, it just keeps getting smaller and smaller, and I can't see anything. And I remember in the dream feeling like claustrophobic and panic setting in, but I keep having to hold the flashlight. And then I get to the point where I'm just stuck. I'm stuck in this fucking cave, this fucking little tunnel. And it's just like compressing in on me. Like I just feel everything is just close. And I'm just laying there trying to hold the light back so the aliens can't come. I'm so stupid. And then as I look to the left of me, in like every Aliens movie this happens, where all of a sudden what I thought was the wall next to me is an alien head, and the alien just goes, and then I wake up. Not only do I wake up in that panic and claustrophobic feeling. So I literally have to get out of bed, get something to drink, do some breathing to get myself to like relax. And I feel like that was like that dream was like telling me, and I'm just like, dude, okay, you're starting to feel a little bit claustrophobic. Aliens chasing you. You've always been told you have a big head, and they would call me the alien when I was a kid. So at the end, the alien represented myself, was who was actually chasing me. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to try to, you know, focus, especially this end of the year. Calm things down. We kind of been getting stretched in a lot of different ways. Still going to do the podcast, still going to do sets, still going to work. Literally nothing's going to change. No, but we're just going to ramp it down a little bit. And I think that's good. That's something that you don't really, you know, see a lot. And I've thought about this because it's like the older generation, they like think it's silly when the younger generation is like, oh, I'm experiencing burnout. And we're like, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. But I don't even think the older generation ever had to deal with as much stuff going on with social media. Not with social media, I mean, I guess. But depending on what your business, what your world is, they didn't have all the inputs. They had a job that would go 9 to 5. They would come home and they would have a television, and they had a fucking landline. They weren't inundated with emails. They weren't inundated with people texting you and work and having to bring it home, and there's no more 40-hour work week. It's getting just like the stress and everything going on. So I think it's different in a good and a bad way, because we've never been connected more. And the bad thing is we've never been more connected more. Profound. So fucking profound. So if you've been feeling, you know, stressed out, overwhelmed, just feeling like you ain't got that energy, let's take this week. Let's back things up. Do some healthy things. Get back to priorities. Make sure you're working out. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're exercising. that's the same as working out, but fuck it. Make sure you're eating healthy. Take some time for you, okay? Check in with yourself. And remember, no matter what, baby, I still love you.